Is that working?
Is it working? Give me a
This.
second.
It appears to maybe be. Oh, it appears to be working. Okay, hold on.
Here we are.
Reload it real quick.
Just putting ads on a live stream on Earth.
Is it? I might be able. Okay, yeah, we got some people in here. All right. So I'm going to do the thing that I usually do, if you can believe it.
I can't.
Cree doing what he usually does. Like, what is this?
You need the monitor, Cree.
I do. Which one do I put it in? Wait, what is it? Channel stuff. Why is not everything coming up? There it is. Create all links.
Can my OC sex you to death? What on earth is happening in your Discord?
I don't know. We're doing a stream. Boom, 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 pow. Send it. Okay. What's going on, guys?
Can we hear chat?
Can we name this one Puck? Yeah, I want to name this one Puck. We haven't drawn the guy yet, but his name is going to be Puck.
Okay. All right, chat. Poggers, if you can hear us.
Can we get some poggers in the chat, please? I don't see any poggers.
Nobody's pogging. Nobody's pogging right now.
Can we get some pogs, please?
Poggers, pog. Okay.
Okay. All right, now stop the pogging. I gotta grab my pen. But make sure nobody pogs.
Okay, no pogging. Pogging is over. There's still pogging, Cree! Are you guys all pogging still? Wait, while Cree's not here, you guys just keep pogging. Keep pogging.
Oh, hey.
Pog.
Saboteur! You're the one that's gonna have to read the chat.
I know.
Okay. The Puck champ is real. Dude, that's so true.
We only bend our knees to one god.
We only bend our knees to one god.
Yeah, he is a jealous god. But even then, they rarely do. So true.
I'm gonna need someone to like make a fan art of that somehow. we only bend our knees to one god, and he is a jealous god.
Maybe Undertale twice today.
How did you do that? Isn't that like a long game?
Bro did the genocide run.
Huh?
I don't know. Probably. I guess.
Don't you have to beat like all of the hardest bosses in Genocide? I haven't played Undertale. Oh my god, 35 people already, dude? That's crazy. No, I didn't. He would never do a Genocide run. Okay, today, honestly, I usually wait for more people to show up, but we already have like almost 40, which is usually how much we have by the end of the stream. Or by the middle, I guess.
Huh.
Today we're doing flying...
A whopping 39 people in chat.
Aliens. Chat goes fast enough with 30 people, dude.
I know, yeah. That's what somebody said that themselves.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I'm not saying it's like a ton. I'm just saying that my streams don't get that many views.
Can we make these guys nihilistic, one guy said.
I don't know yet. Let's draw them first.
Let's do it. Fair.
Okay, so these guys are going to be flying. And I've got some very specific ideas for these guys, but we'll talk about that at the end of the stream. Like, for right now, let's just draw what their body is.
That's fair.
All right?
Okay, they're aliens. They fly.
They fly.
Culturally, we don't know anything about them.
Not yet.
Okay.
One
They designed a flying dog once.
That's pretty cool. Okay. One thing that I wanted to try that I thought would be pretty cool is if they looked like they had evolved from like a boneless creature, basically if they looked like a squid that sprouted wings or something.
Okay.
Right? Like they because there's nothing really like that on Earth.
Yeah.
Like flying squiddies.
Yeah. There is actually, flying fish?
Yeah.
There's a flying squid.
Is there really a flying squid?
Is. Yeah, look them up.
That's crazy.
I'm gonna look still for you.
I'm gonna look up some flying squid inspo.
Lord Tofu asks, how much do I have to pay you to make them racist?
$2.
$2. Hear that, Lord Tofu? $2. Strike them racist.
Whoa, this is cool.
Like the real world flying squid? Yeah. It's an actual thing. That's not an actual thing.
This is not an actual thing.
But it is a cool idea.
Look at this.
Yeah.
Huh, interesting.
Jet launch through the water and then they just power up into the air.
Oh, okay. So they don't have like wings or anything.
No, but then they can jet launch in the air and then they can glide for 30 meters and stuff.
I think I'm going to use this as my inspo.
How do they fly? Is it like birds, flying lizards, fairy flies? Basically, is it a lift thing, or their atmosphere dense enough for it to be a bit less of an energy tax?
It would make sense if it was that their atmosphere was just really thick. That would make
fairy
sense to me.
flies the thing I'm thinking of? Look up fairy flies. See if they're the thing I'm thinking.
Fairy flies are the things that are so small that they can just like swim through the
Yeah,
air.
they just have little spoon wings.
Yeah, they have little spoon
Okay, that's what I was thinking.
That's how small they are.
Yeah.
So probably like fairy. I think it'd be cool to have them be like fairy flies, but obviously not as small. So like they're the size of like a regular like hawk or eagle or whatever.
Yeah.
But their atmosphere is so thick that they can just go do it and spoon around. Yeah. Let me look at fairy flies too.
Make the gas bladder a hollow bone like a bird has. That way it prevents popping.
Okay. I see what you mean.
Probably going to live on a low gravity planet. Actually, if they live on a really high gravity planet, the atmosphere would be a lot thicker. So they could get away with this kind of operation. It would be hard to get into the air, but once they're in the air, they could just stay there forever and ever and ever. Nah, give them rocket proportion. They probably wouldn't have strict borders of countries if they can freely fly. True.
I was thinking like what would be kind of cool is if they migrated and they had bastions and they were very territorial of the bastions while they were there, but like the summer group lived there in the summer and then they freely let the winter group stay there in the winter.
Oh, that's interesting.
But if like two summer groups
come at
the same place, they're very territorial over that area.
Interesting. So if they use gas sacks and are boneless, what if they evolve on a gas giant? I feel like gas giant would be more like an ocean than it would be like flying creatures.
Yeah, I think if I make I am going to make a gas giant one eventually because I think that'd be really cool. But I think that would probably be something living like on the core.
Yeah.
And then it just has like an extremely dense atmosphere that it can like swim through.
Yeah. Animals living in a gas giant are going to be different from creatures that can fly.
Yeah.
I feel. Wait, are they planet, gas, or solid? Solid planet.
Solid planet. Rocky planet today.
Bibbleridian made boneless flyers. Yes, he did. Bibbleridian made a lot of stuff. That was a cool series. Isn't there like one that still has to come out?
What? Oh, yeah, there it is.
Episode.
Okay.
On hold. For everything. For sight, smell, hearing, putting food in and getting food out. 4 legs and ball shape. That is how most organisms are shaped. Though they can avoid cold in the winter by descending to the inoculated ground. Maybe. I made squids fly in Minecraft. Oh, yeah, it's warmer on the ground. Yeah, but I feel like this isn't going to be like it's still going to be cold on the ground. You know what I mean? Maybe if the atmosphere is thicker, they could have a turbine-like structure to fly. Oh god, I almost forgot to race you in designing an alien. Does it typically race you in designing an alien?
Yeah, you can race me.
Get in there, meat.
Yeah.
No gas giant, and the prompt is flying aliens. Yeah. Okay, let's say they lay 500,000 eggs each, but less than 1% survives, at least before the Industrial Revolution. So it's like the baby eaters?
Yeah, like the baby eaters from... I don't know. I don't think it's a very well-known
I don't think it is either.
thing. But yeah, that'd be like the baby eaters in Three Worlds Collide.
Yeah.
Which is an awesome book, by the way.
Well, you guys need to go read that. It is weird. It's strange. It's not very good, but it's very cool.
It's awesome until they do the all the humans are rapists thing.
That wasn't very cool. Yeah, that was kind of lame. Maybe they evolved from environments similar to pigeons. Like they were domestic and then let loose. Or like they lived in rocky alcoves.
I have an idea for how... I don't even know what I'm drawing right now. I'm just kind of making a silly little guy.
Are these guys the squid Jetsons? Yes. Similar to moas. What's a moa? They migrate for the winter. They're just like my grandpa, for real, for real.
I can respect that.
I'm still waiting for eyeless aliens. They'll even take compound eyes at this point.
We've already had compound eyes.
They can lay eggs on each other for safety. I'm not sure how the eggs being laid on each other would be safe.
Yeah, it seems like laying your eggs on a flying and moving object would be quite unsafe, actually.
Why not make them utilize air through specialized organs, not wings? Are wings not specialized organs for moving air? Do they travel for food? If they're migratory, they either travel for food or like comfort, like breeding grounds or something. What's their reason for migrating?
I don't know. I haven't drawn them yet.
Fair. They could extend tentacles from their mouths. Interesting. Maybe they could have some kind of fur.
Oh, that was another thing I was thinking of. Is check this out.
One hole for everything. Sight, smell, hearing, eating food, and excreting food. Ball shape with 4 legs. Evernight says.
Evernight?
I think that's a bad design for a flyer.
Yeah, right? I kind of...
So it's kind of an interesting concept. Maybe not for this guy, though. Make him have wings / fly membranes on every limb like a microraptor. I like that.
Yeah, that could be cool.
Have you done any creatures that have live birth, like mammals?
I don't think I've had any that specifically do that. I haven't really talked about the ibits. No, the ibits definitely don't. Well, no, the ibits kind of do.
Sort of.
Because
they have live birth, but not live birth like mammals.
Yeah, they definitely don't have live birth like mammals, but...
Yeah. Maybe they have whiskers or something to detect atmospheric pressure.
So this is the idea that I'm kind of thinking of right now, alright? Let me know what you guys are thinking.
Can we make them live for 11 months?
I always make the, canonically, the lifespans of these aliens are usually really short in, human times. But, everybody gets sad whenever I talk about it, so I never mentioned it in the videos. The ibits live for, 2 years, guys. Oh,
no. Anomalocaris, 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 Anomalocaris.
Isn't that the vice president or something? Or what's Anomalocaris?
Isn't that the vice president?
Oh yeah, this guy. Okay. So this is the idea that I was kind of thinking, which could be maybe cool, but also maybe really stupid. Someone in the last video, when we were still trying to turn that one into a flying alien, said that I should make it fly backwards, and I didn't really know how that would work. But I kind of think I figured out how that might work.
No, that's way too short. They need to live more than 2 years.
Yeah, see, this is why I don't mention it in the videos, because everybody gets sad when I do.
Yeah, not the vice president, a cool shrimp. These guys should live for 120 years out of spite. Are we making a day flight alien? No, that's too sad. Maybe somewhere on this planet there live day flight aliens, but the self-hunt ones can't be day flights. That's terrible. That would break my heart.
It would be I'm not going to do this because literally the last episode was already a metamorphic alien, but it would be kind of cool if if they lived the actual mature adult form lived 1 day, and then there was the babies that they spent most of their life as babies, and the babies had a civilization.
I finished my alien, says Meep.
Oh, okay.
Make them immortal.
Make them immortal.
Opabenia.
So this kind of would be...
What if they're the apex predators in their environment? They should have a long lifespan, I agree. Caste system. It seems terrible. I hate caste systems, so that is an interesting story. Make them have 4 eyes, a pair on top for looking up and a pair on the bottom for looking down. Make them have a pair of 2 eyes out of the front of their face and then a pair of stalk eyes on the top that swivel around like an andalite.
So this is what I'm thinking, all right? I don't know if this is a good idea. I mean, it's not going to look like this, obviously, but this is just for the body plan.
Yeah.
So this might be kind of stupid, but it would lead to a cool-looking alien, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, over here is the mouth, right?
Proboscis, right there.
Yeah, gotcha. It's like a proboscis. Over there is the mouth. This part over here is really pointy, so that it's aerodynamic.
Mm-hmm.
And this eye looks both forward and backward, so it can see everywhere. This is the wing. I think these would probably actually both be wings, kind of like a microraptor, as I was saying.
Yeah.
So
I think a Cherovipteryx also would be interesting.
What's a Cherovipteryx?
Look it up.
Okay, in a second.
Their back legs, their hind legs with the wings.
Oh, and their front legs. I've seen that one, actually.
Yeah.
And their front legs don't do anything. That'd be kind of cool, too. But
biologically immortal, like jellyfish. Barrel eye fish eyes.
So
That'd be interesting.
So it flies this. Barrel eyes are the one that have this eyes inside of their head, right?
Yeah.
So it flies this way, but like it walks around and stuff. It can like walk around either way because its head is on this side of its body.
Mm-hmm. Make them have 1,000 eyes, but they only sense light. What if they're like the immortal jellyfish and they age backwards and they're stressed out or sick or just old?
Like they become younger?
Yeah.
Maybe.
OMG, I am the guy who suggested the backflying idea. I thought it would work very well with cricket legs.
Oh yeah, there was also the cricket leg idea. That was cool too.
Anyone seen that one dragon in D&D that has backwards wings? I have not.
So how do we like this like just very basic design? Do we think it's cool or do we think it's lame and stupid?
I think it's interesting.
Okay.
I agree they should carry their young somehow. Gastric brood would be cool, or a baby pouch since they're migratory. Gastric brooding is interesting.
What is gastric brooding?
You swallow your babies and they grow up in your gut.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, you usually can't eat the entire time you're pregnant.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah.
Jeez.
This looks like Toy Monstrum. It does look like Toy Monstrum.
What's a toy monster? Is it just spelled like toy, like a toy?
Toy.
Totally. Oh, Totally Monstrum. I think I know this one.
This is like a Toy Monstrum. You're right.
Yeah, it does look like Toy Monstrum.
Love Toy Monstrum.
Okay, that's decided.
This is the Toy Monster.
It's the Totally Monstrum, dude.
How do they protect their eyes from dust? They have a great big eyelid that wraps over that whole big ball.
I think it's like a mud gulper where when they blink, their eye just goes all the way down.
Gotcha.
All the way into their body.
Fun way to design flying creatures based on a B-2 bomber. This should be a funky looking guy.
Yeah, I think so too.
Make it spit acid because it's spiteful.
So, but do we want to do the thing where it has a really, really thick atmosphere and can just have little spoon wings? Because I think that would make these also acting as legs at the very least easier for me, a amateur artist, to draw.
Well, pterosaurs have wings that act like legs.
I know.
Just look at what the pterosaur wing looks like and base it on that.
Yeah, I know. But do we want to do it that way, or do we want to give it spoon wings and have a really thick atmosphere?
I think we want to have the thick atmosphere saved for the gas giants. So we
for the
can
gas
really
giants
lean into it.
Yeah. Okay, that's a good idea. Okay.
How about they choose to die whenever and have no set lifespan? Is the mouth on the tail?
Yes.
Sorta.
It is in a tail. It's a throat. But yeah. But
I love the body plan so far. Very funky. Some gastric breeders just keep them inside their throat instead of swallowing them whole, like all the way down. So they have like a pouch in their throat. Oh, interesting.
I think it should be more like the middle here.
Make it have a metamorphosis. Boner eye. Yes, exactly. How does it breathe?
With its lungs. I don't know yet.
Them eyes would be so silly. Keep them, please. Spoon wings so they may eat more cereals.
That's a good point. I didn't consider the amount of cereals they'd be able to eat.
Make it fly backward, have cricket legs, and brood in the gut. They are full of air sacs. Can we make them not sapient?
No.
I chose when I died. Interesting. Biological mortality. They do expeditions.
Wait, he chose past tense?
He chose. They do expeditions to the center of the gas giant. That's going to be the ones that actually live on a gas giant, but yes. They die when after they're young mature in their stomachs/throats. It's like the jeez. Okay, there's a very niche spec project I've been reading. I think it's called Aethermagaia, something like that. I can't read Latin very well. But it's the animals are all segmented.
Oh,
so
yeah.
like an antelope, it has an antelope equivalent. It has 4 zooids and it's 4 siblings that just merge, and one of them becomes the head, one of them grows into the torso, one of them grows into the stomach, and one of them grows into the back. And the whole dies when they give birth. There's a disease where if one of the young dies, if the head zooid dies, the second one has to take on the properties of both the chest and the head, and it's usually like ill-formed, and it doesn't work very well, and it has to burst out of its mother as soon as it's basically vaguely familiar with the fact that it's a sentient creature, and it has to dig through its mother's womb, and it kills her in the process. I think it's called a Gore child.
Oh yeah, I remember you talking about the Gore children.
Oh, I love that spec. Okay, I'm glad I'm not the only one. Gore child syndrome. Yes, Gore child syndrome.
Yeah, how do you spell Quetzalcoatlus?
Quet Z.
Right there.
There you go.
No!
That's just a bird.
That's just
a bird. Yeah.
Quetzalcoatl.
Pretty alright spec. Okay, I'm glad I'm not the only one who knows what I'm talking about here.
Okay.
The thumbnail for this stream reminds me of some other stream thumbnail.
Yeah, I ran out of aliens.
What is this project you mentioned spelled? Give me a second. I'm going to leave you people here, chat. I'm going to go find it. I'm going to paste the spelling in the chat. So if you guys say anything, I'm not going to hear it.
You're not hearing it anyway.
It's true. I'm not going to read it. Shut up, Kree. No one likes you.
At least a couple people do, probably.
Is that right?
I think so.
Do any of you people like him? They're all just say Quetzal.
Quetzal?
I can find the spec.
I'm just saying Quetzal. Quetzal.
Okay. It's a Thermagaya. Sorry, I didn't say that right. It's here, I'll spell it out in the chat.
That is what you said you were going to do.
Yep, it is.
Okay.
A Thermagaya. I spelled it out in the chat. I'm WebGoner. If you guys want to go throw some love at a different guy, throw it at him.
Phrasing web.
Shut up. I just drove to my school for the first time. This is the best reward. Thank you, Kree. Thank you, Zavi, for telling me.
Thank you, Zavi.
Solitary and highly territorial, like the gravediggers from Serena. Interesting. A predictor species that ram ventilates, so constantly flies. Oh, like sharks do. Interesting. So it has to always be moving.
Oh, I don't think that's gonna work with this little gremlin I drew. Look at him.
He's very cute. I do like him a lot. Let's make every word they say start with P.
But they're all all the P's are silent though.
Yeah, exactly.
That might be fun, actually. I might do that.
Octopus tentacles with a mouth at the end of each one.
Okay, so I'm gonna make him longer and thinner, I think.
I don't even know who this guy is. Crease, right?
Crease?
Magaya. Oh, that's my comment. I think they should get to eat Fruit Loops and perhaps Lucky Charms.
I'll look into it.
Because of the Chose text, this stream's so good. It always plays in the afterlife for real. So true. Zavi. Shiba. You don't need to walk. Okay. They vomit eggs over their predators and they stick to them. Then they hatch and eat the predator. Wow. That's terrible. I like that a lot. No lungs, breathe through skin like frog.
That could also be cool, honestly. I was kind of thinking like that when someone asked how they breathe. That was kind of what I was thinking, maybe. But I don't really know how that would work for I mean, I guess they could just have more oxygen or whatever the thing that they breathe is.
It's probably oxygen.
It probably is.
If things breathe, they're probably breathing oxygen because it's the only thing that's really worth breathing.
Yeah. Isn't oxygen like poisonous, though?
Yeah, that's what makes it worth breathing. Amazingly. Kree is canonically Canadian. True. Weevil time. Make it a weevil. Pog. Uh-oh. Make sure not to feed them after midnight. Ammonia atmosphere? You can make ammonia work. You have to be really, really cold, though, right?
I don't like this.
Is that correct? Look up how Quetzalcoatlus wings actually looked.
That's what I'm looking at right now.
That's not how they actually looked. They would fold up completely tightly, and you wouldn't have like the wing membrane visible.
Oh.
It would look like it would stand there. Like everybody draws it wrong because it doesn't make any sense. But the musculature, we have one preserved, the head musculature still.
Mm-hmm.
The musculature would cinch it up completely against the arm and completely against the pinky finger.
Oh.
So it would look like it just had a big long pinky and then it would completely unfold, which is ridiculous.
Okay, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Let's draw him like that then.
They have chemical spray like a bombardier beetle. Give him an accordion neck, and every time he breathes, he makes an accordion sound.
Oh, like that.
For manipulators, do they use their mouth? It is kind of trunk-like.
Maybe.
I bet these guys would love necklaces.
Probably. So. Yeah, they probably would.
Liquivore. Interesting. Make it kill things by ramming into them like a Pachycephalosaurus. They have different clans called hives and they fight each other. Sorry, fellas, got a dip. Can someone ask Curry to make it Weevil-like in my absence? That was me. You're welcome, the slime crafter. Sulfate reduction is a biological chemical process where sulfate ions are reduced to sulfide ions or other sulfide-containing compounds. Can make them breathe sulfates. What would the atmosphere have to look like for them to breathe sulfates? Would it have to be really hot? Would it have to be really cold? Would it have to be really thick? Would it have to be really thin? Tell me the details in sulfate breathing and I'll let you know.
Give me the deep.
Bro looks a little fat for a flying creature.
Yeah, I'm gonna make him a lot longer and thinner. Like that,
really,
dude?
Zavi was here. That was... Yeah, like that. Isn't that crazy looking?
Yeah, that's crazy looking, dude.
Yeah.
Kinda
Zavi was here out here fat shaming the flyer. How much does it like water?
I don't know yet.
Every time we breathe, we're ingesting diluted poison, which is also what alcohol is. That's reductive, but also, yes. I think they should give live birth. Make it have some spear-like mouth parts that spring up and impale prey. Like a... What is that thing that moray eels have, where they have an extra mouth inside their mouth?
Like the xenomorph from...
Yeah,
like the
it
alien
springs
from-
out, but instead of a mouth coming out, a spear comes out.
Yeah, that one.
He needs a jet or a lung organ that he uses for breathing and flying.
That could be kind of cool.
A lot of people like the bombardier beetle idea. The wing could retract when they walk like a Draco lizard. That's kind of what pterosaurs did, amazingly.
Let me look at a Draco lizard real quick, because I'm not really liking the look of that.
Metamorphosis has two trunks next to its mouth.
No, that's a gun. I just put Draco, and it gave me a gun and some nerd. Draco lizard.
Can you make it Weevil-like?
I'll look into it.
The atmosphere has to be high in sulfates. You know, that makes sense.
Dude,
For them to breathe sulfates.
You know what?
Are we now doing the flying versus semi-aquatic instead of the land versus digging because it didn't get to fly last time?
Well...
I mean, that was the original idea before you went to terrestrial.
No, the original idea, it was originally going to be flying versus subterranean. And then instead it just became forest versus subterranean.
Make it silicon-based. Make the skin very wrinkled to have more surface area for breathing. Interesting.
That would be bad for flying, though.
Yeah, the wrinkles would flap around. Lidivore. No explanation. I don't know what that is. Did they just eat withes? I'm not sure. I think you could guess who was from the Weevil talk. Yes. How active is the Starscapes Reddit? Not very.
Not very, I don't think.
Go fix that, Dee.
Basically not at all.
Dee, go put some content on that Starscapes Reddit, my man. What do they eat? Not sure yet. It's a species that melts ore to gain nutrients. It uses the life for a mage. As temporary shelters make sense for a harsh wind planet. Using the remains of a minded shelter makes sense, but melting ore to gain nutrients would take a whole lot of heat. And I don't think what the nutrients you would gain from the ores would make up for the energy you lost to melt it. Weevil-like in some form. I don't think we're going to get Weevil-like, my man. Hydrogen sulfide breathers like chemotrophs breathe out sulfates. So maybe we can make chemotrophs more common in this world.
Wait, a hemotroph? What's a hemotroph?
A chemotroph is something that at the bottom of the ocean, instead of having plants that make energy from the sun, you have little wormy things that make energy from the chemicals that come out of those big tubes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a chemotroph.
Okay.
Chemotroph just means chemical eater.
Chemical eater.
You can never have a flyer be too fat. Look at bats and a good chunk of birds. That's fair. Very sorry for fat shaming his drawing. I won't do it again. Good, Zavi. Pharyngeal jaws. Yes, pharyngeal jaws. Thank you. Give it armor like an ankylosaur, but not too thick.
Oh yeah, I was about to say that would also be pretty bad for flying.
They use gastroliths. That would be bad for flying also. Make it fly and fat. Round birds are mostly feathers. True. They eject spores. The many fins of Anomalocharus would make for really good wings. Make the skin
Really
very wrinkled.
good water wings, maybe.
Make the skin very wrinkled to have more surface area for breathing. I feel like it would flap around too much when they're trying to fly. Like it would get caught in the wind. If it is flying, then make it a hind leg flyer. Incredibly thick in form. What if it has something like sharks where the flying pushes air through the lungs? Yeah, like ram breathing. That'd be interesting. With the mouth tail, it could have an unfolding layer of skin like Gyasmagorm from Monster Hunter. I'm not familiar with Monster Hunter enough to know who Gyasmagorm is.
Well, wait, what was the full comment there?
With the mouth tail,
It's probably something with a mouth tail.
it could have an unfolding layer of skin like Gyasmagorm from Monster Hunter. I haven't been on the Reddit in a long while. I don't know what happens there. Nothing.
Yeah, nothing really.
They evolve the wrinkles and then have to get softened or they will just get clapped by every carnivore.
Wait, they what?
Evolve the wrinkles and it makes them bad flyers, and their only choice is to get softened, so they don't get clapped by every carnivore.
I think they'd probably just unevolve flying.
What if their skin is more porous, making the air and nutrient exchange better? Oh, okay, yeah. They can have some sort of balloon-like organ for floating or reducing weight. What is there to manipulate on a gas giant? Fair. A small mouth can be used to pull small animals out of holes and crevices. Purely cannibalistic.
So the thing with that is...
This guy who keeps mentioning Anomalocaris, I need you to know that his comments are normal, except for when he says Anomalocaris, it's in all caps. The Anomalocaris' fins would serve the same function of more surface area as flaps. He has an answer to every single problem we have. Questmon. Questmon wants it to be an Anomalocaris crew. They could have the weight of 3. They could have the weight of 3 Americans. Oh, it also said that Kree is canonically Canadian. Just so you know, they're on to you.
They're on to me, man. Sorry about that, guys.
Me, I guess because I live in the same city as him. They eat cheeseburgers. I've been ordered to put content on the Starscapes Reddit, I guess. Yes, you have.
Do it.
Those are your marching orders. Give them a straw jaw, and then they just suck out tadpoles from ponds.
Wait, what?
Give them a straw jaw, and then they just suck out tadpoles from ponds. Live in a world that used to have another civilization that became extinct. That'd be interesting.
Oh, just you wait.
Oh, okay. They eat cheeseburgers and spew out freedom.
That's actually exactly what I was thinking for these guys.
Oh. Maybe they're frugivores.
Is that where they eat frugs?
Yeah, it's frug. Google Stegosaurus flying article. What? Stegosaurus cannot fly. I refuse to even pretend like this is a thing.
Did you know that Stegosauruses had beautiful singing voices? Because we can't prove that they didn't.
I think it's a nice thought, so I'm going to go with it. There could be a species with a large surface area like a stingray, but it photosynthesizes like some sea slugs. It can have like like little algae in its skin, but it's
Or dude,
symbiotic with.
this is an alien world. It just is the algae.
Yeah. There could be a species with a large surface area. Let's start that one. Create ball, hello, what's happening? We're making a flying animal.
A flying, intelligent, sapient alien.
What will it eat? I'm not sure yet.
I like the idea that it sucks stuff up with a little silly straw mouth. I'm not good at drawing wings, by the way.
Birds are very hollow due to all the air sacs, yes. Is that an accordion neck?
No.
What if it uses its body heat like a hot air balloon to make it lighter and allowing it more mobility? That's an interesting idea. Make them cheeseburger-vores.
I already told you I am.
I think they need a tail fin or a tail plume to better steer and control themselves in the air. The tongue could come out. And you know how you can make your tongue long and pointy or flat and broad?
Sure.
They do that real broad-like, and that's what their tail fin is.
That's kind of a
they
cool
fly
idea.
backwards.
Because they fly backwards. I like that
This
idea.
is what happened after crows starscaped over the universe. It eats freedom and shits 9mm.
I like the idea of starscaping being like a verb for just getting way too into genetic modification.
Does it live on a gas giant or a
No.
normal planet?
Normal planet.
I
That's
think
pretty. That's pretty racist towards gas giants, guys.
Yeah. If they do eat from ponds and their world is heavy, maybe they should be very wide but thin in vertical height to help fly but allow it to distribute weight when on the ground. Interesting.
To be wide and wait, why would they be wide and thin?
they'd be wide so that they have like this way. If you looked at them from the top down, they'd be wide, so that they have a lot of surface area to fly. But they're very thin if you looked at them from the side. There's not a lot of weight.
Okay.
And they can distribute that weight around because they're so thick. Their legs are so widely distributed. They have an openable and closable surface to filter feed on smaller flying organisms and algae. That'd be interesting, but if it flies the opposite direction its mouth is, the filter feed would be pretty ineffective.
Yeah. So
Morph its body shape.
right now I'm just trying to get the freaking wings to look even.
Cone snail spear gun. This straw mouth curls up and fat like a butterfly. Oh. What if the higher the body temperature is, the more loose its veins and skin get, allowing it to use the excess skin like a balloon for the time being? When body temperature is low, they're weak. I'm not sure body temperature would expand you the way that, like, a hot air balloon temperature would work. I don't think that's how that would work, though I could be wrong.
Ooh, there we go.
What if there's an asteroid that nearly hit their planet during their tribal period but continued its path? But some chunks at the planet, the pucks see this and make several religions.
That could be cool.
If they fly backward, they see with their butt. They see with an eye that's placed on their hips.
Yeah.
Kind of. Normalize not being racist against gas giants. So true.
Yeah, this age of oppression has gone on for too long, guys.
Give them eyes on stalks. They do have eyes on stalks, just like little stalks. They're not like very mobile. Wide and thin like Anomalocaris.
I don't know how wide and thin the Anomalocaris was.
It was pretty wide, pretty thin.
Okay.
Hunts like an Ashdarkid. Yeah, that would work. He has Ashdarkid wings already, sort of. Quetzalcoatlus was an Ashdarkid.
Okay.
Yeah. Cativore. It eats cats. Cryivore. It eats curry. Oh,
no!
So a sea turtle shape. More like a stingray shape.
Okay, so how does this even look, dude?
Maybe they believe in a god in the center of the gas giant. Maybe the gas giant people do, but these guys don't live on a gas giant.
These guys don't live on a gas giant, so that'd be kind of weird.
Or like a giant stork. Ashdarkid and giant stork are one and the same, my friend. The blurby sir, they already have eyes on stalks. 2 mouths. Imagine intelligent crows just leave Earth before humanity even invented rocks. And they meet humans again in space. Make it a gas giantivore.
They eat gas giants.
Maybe it catches sky algae on its behind like a bee with pollen, and they process it somehow like honey. Ooh.
All right, guys, I think we're getting somewhere with these.
Make the legs thinner, it looks better. Why does every Steam chat want to give all aliens more than one mouth?
I don't know, dude. Because humans only have one, and they're upset about it.
Maybe you should first think about how they evolved wings, so you can make them look good and make sense. Omnivore. It eats anything it can find.
You know, I've always thought about that, like thinking about how they evolved before making the design. But I mean, that would make the stream like twice as long, probably. And I always make it on a Saturday, which is like probably the most convenient for most of you guys, but it's one of the least convenient days for me. Like me and Webb don't have that much time on Saturdays. But I feel like it is the best time to make it. So I don't think we really have the time to be like, all right, so how did this thing we haven't drawn yet evolve, right?
Yeah. Wings and legs are separate. What if they have an epidemic brought in by an asteroid later down the line?
That could be cool.
What if its wings are like the auk vultures from Serena? Oh, yeah. Well, that's kind of like the auk vultures from Serena. Yeah, look them up because they're cool.
Auk.
A-U-K. Like a...
Oh, like a bird.
Yeah. Then you gotta mention Serena.
So, yeah,
It's
the
one
auk
word,
vulture is a real thing, apparently.
It's not, but auks are a real thing, and vultures are a real thing.
Serena.
Serena is not a real thing, unfortunately.
Oh, yeah.
It's like an Ashdarkid, but instead of a
that's kind
wing membrane, it's feathers.
That's kind of a cool design.
I think so too.
I'm not gonna mess with what I have right here, though. I think I don't know. It's kind of like a flying squirrel kind of vibe, which if they have a sort of thick enough atmosphere, I think they'd be able to fly with this kind of setup.
Okay.
But also, I mean, this could like fold
Just
out.
big old
I guess.
potassium.
Yeah, I mean, it could fold out like a Draco lizard too.
I always think it smells like Updog. What's Updog?
Got him. I was actually kind of going for an Updog kind of. Stop touching my mouse.
Sorry.
You're messing everything up, bud.
I do my best. Or how vulture bees do. They scavenge carcasses and then turn them into meat honey. What? Is that a real animal?
Wait, what?
That's
Vulture?
terrible.
They turn them into meat honey?
Can the aliens be addicted to opium?
Not opium.
They can make algae into a neat, salty slime that they store in holes in the ground.
That sounds awesome!
Make it eat mouths.
Mouths?
Yeah. What if they use shells for protections, but they aren't born with it and need to find them like a hermit crab? I don't think you can fly with a shell. It's not adapted for being flown with. So you probably wouldn't be able to, unless there's a lot of flying shelled animals on this planet.
That could be kind of cool.
Yeah. Make it a dragon. Do you think sky algae honey could taste good? I imagine that's the salty whole slime.
In which case, yeah.
Read some Serena. I suggest the tribats for wings. Yes. Regardless of the tribats for wings, go read Serena.
Okay.
Opium Wars 2, Electric Boogaloo. Maybe they suck juices out of other animals. Make some of the sky algae be dangerous and hallucinogenic, forcing agriculture.
How does this look?
I think it's a cool design. And that's his mouth on the back.
That's his mouth on the back. It needs something. It needs a manipulator, though. Where are we going to put that? This boy needs to gaslight, gatekeep, girl boss.
His hind leg.
His hind leg?
He's got a hand on it.
Okay.
Much to my chagrin, I must leave. I'm sorry, dysfunctional dragonborn.
No, dysfunctional dragon boy.
The Yawk vultures like a pterosaur like wing, but with more fight feathers. Yes, sir. Also have a bit of skin. That's why they work. I'm a big fan of Serena.
Really?
I love me my bird fan fiction.
You ever think about how...
How what?
You ever think about how Serena is like Dante's Inferno, but instead of being a fan fiction for the Bible, it's a fan fiction for the origin of species. for Charles Darwin's The Origin of Species.
Vulture bees turn rotten meat into honey. I just looked up vulture bee. I have now seen meat honey.
Dude, that honestly sounds kind of awesome.
Yeah. Call it alien updog now.
It's called Puck.
Puck?
Yeah, that's his
I imagine the salty whole slime could have some meat in it too. The salt prevents spoiling.
Dude, honestly, these guys are gonna do meat honey. These guys are gonna have meat honey.
It's cool. I'm on board. Maybe you should look up what meat honey is and how it works though.
Yeah.
Maybe they have very tough materials and a very strong bite force. I feel like having a jaw at the end of a long tube
Vulture
would result in a very weak bite force.
meat honey.
For
sale! People are selling it!
Oh my good lord.
The vulture bees salivates. Gosh, I'm so dyslexic. On the rotting flesh and then consumes it, storing the flesh in its crop. When it returns to the nest, its meat is regurgitated and processed by a worker bee, which then resecretes the resulting proteins as a decay-resistant edible glucose product resembling honey.
What a terrible thing to do.
How much are they selling it for?
Yeah, I want to know.
$14, dude. That's not bad. That's not bad.
Want to get some meat honey, boys? Hey, chat, Pog, if we should go buy some meat honey and eat it on stream.
This bee honey, the brand is called Chad. It's just Chad with a B instead of a D. I don't know why that's so funny. Okay, how do we feel about this little guy? I think he's really cute. I like him.
I like him too.
And one thing I wanted to do with this design, which I kind of feel like I did pretty well here, is...
Okay, we're getting Pogs for the...
Bee honey?
Bee honey. Yeah.
Alright, next stream is going to be bee honey. It's going to be reacting to bee honey, to meat honey.
To meat honey, yeah.
So, I like how it really does look like this could be the front or this could be the front.
Yeah.
Right? I think that's cool.
Meat honey Matt and the algae boys.
He kind of looks like a little baby.
He does kind of look like a little baby. I like it though.
Yeah, me too. I'm going to draw what his mouth looks like in the... Because, obviously this doesn't really look like something that would eat.
Maybe they're triamphibious. They can be on the land, water, and the sky.
I could see this thing going into the water.
Can the jaw be more similar to the splinter from Hamster's Paradise? I haven't read all of Hamster's Paradise yet, so I'm not sure what the splinter's jaw looked like.
Ooh. Oh, I was thinking something else that could be cool with this guy.
What?
Is if they had, antlers of some form. We don't need to put those in.
But I just thought it would be cool to have like a flying thing with tiny little antlers.
Mm-hmm.
Where would, if we did want to put that in, where could we put that in?
What are they using the antlers for?
Probably like fighting animals.
So they fly this direction, right?
Yeah, they fly this way.
So put the antlers here, so they can use them as like a ramming weapon.
Okay.
Maybe these guys could be bioluminescent, so they could ward off predators and communicate. Make algae-like organism that produces opium-like substances these guys would get addicted to.
I love the use of like and I don't really like that. I think I'm just gonna keep them basic.
All right.
I like when people say opium like instead of just saying opium because that makes me much more likely to consider it because I'm like, no, they're not using opium. Opium isn't here on this world.
Fun fact: the way vulture bees make honey is not so different from normal honey. That's terrible.
Well, yeah, that's why it's called
Meat honey.
meat honey.
He's screaming into the abyss. Pog, pog, pog. Nog, pog. Okay, people like the meat honey idea.
Well, then it's only $14.
What is its skin made of? I can't really see it. No front. Two fronts, actually.
2 fronts.
Back into meat honey. So you just look at a picture of meat honey for 2 hours? Yeah, we just look at it, yeah. We can spit out your dose of chemicals.
So,
I like this guy. Thank you.
Okay, so this is like an above shot of his tail. Like, what would the mouth look like on this thing?
I feel like it's a pharyngeal jaw. And all of that junk is just there for, like,
Oh, so
tail.
Like it shoots out like this?
Yeah.
And
they
then
communicate like eagles? Well, how do eagles communicate?
And then is the mouth at the end here, or is this like a tongue?
There's a mouth at the end there.
So
Sorry.
Like-
Read Hamster's Paradise. I'm trying, Dee Dee. I'm sorry. Use the antlers on the back, then they fold onto the body to reduce drag.
Oh, that could be cool.
If they were to wear glasses, how?
Like this.
Big a fishbowl they just put on
Yeah.
top. Yeah, exactly.
You would have had the exact same idea there. Yeah, just a little
Domesticate
fishbowl.
small insects and control entire swarms of them.
Would also be pretty cool. Although every time they blinked, the glasses would fall off.
That's true. That wouldn't work. What if they have symbiosis with birds who attach their claws and lift them in return? The birds get their honey. What if they communicate by flashing different bioluminescent spots like sea wings from wings of fire? I know not what a sea wing from wings of fire is. I'm sorry.
I imagine, dude, check this out. I bet it's like a dragon that lives in the
I
ocean.
bet you're right. Make the horns retractable like Toothless's teeth.
So this is how its eyes are retractable, by the way. And then this is probably how it looks when it's flying.
So it's not getting its eyes.
Yeah, so
its
so its eyes don't get.
It should have an anomalous like mouth. To pog or not to pog?
That is the question.
Google sea turtle mouth.
I know what a sea turtle's mouth looks like, dude.
Uh-oh. Eel mouth.
Sea turtle mouth. Image.
Give it awful little human teeth.
Yeah. Sea turtles are so cute.
No contributions, once again, says Nate with blurby sir. I'm not sure I understand what you mean, my Nathaniel, your friend.
In the last one, he was like saying, I mean, he named the aliens in the last one though, so. But in the last one, he was saying, like that we didn't use as accordion neck idea. I don't know. If you just, you're much more likely to get us like a actual thing in if you don't just repeat the same thing over and over again. If you like throughout the entire course of the stream, if you keep coming up with different new ideas, then you're a lot more likely rather than just repeating one idea. Because if I don't like an idea the first time I hear it, I'm not gonna like it the 12th time. You know what I mean? And I'm not like whenever I choose like which idea I'm gonna use, like I'm not even kind of thinking about any of the optics of like, oh, I need like I want like everybody to have at least one contribution. I just like if I feel like, oh, that's a good idea, I put it in.
Yeah.
I just feel it in my soul, dude.
For sure. Speaking of ideas that you might want to put in.
Yeah.
The antler idea, it could be a muscular, flexible antenna. They can manipulate things and pull them back and fight. Filter feeder, since it would be unique.
See, that's a really good point too. Like a really good example of what I was talking about. I'm the one that suggested antler, and I'm not feeling it.
Yeah.
Right. So it's nothing to do with like anything in particular. It's just whether or not the idea.
Third gender, that's just a walking beehive. Wouldn't the wind from flying dry out its eye? Have you ever seen a mud skipper eye? That's what we're going for.
Yeah, like it.
Big frog.
Like
sucks into
down.
it like sucks into the head. It's really strange. It is a sea dragon indeed. Okay, good. Sea wings. Yeah.
Dude, I'm so smart.
Create ball. My mom thinks you're cool.
Oh, who is that?
Dee
Dee.
Deddy.
Thanks.
D-E-D-I-E.
Thanks, Dee Dee's mom. Tell your mom I think she's cool too.
Hear that, Dee?
Okay. Honestly, this is like the shortest one we've done, but I don't really know what else you need to do with this one.
Okay, so Nate the Blurby Sir has 3 contributions.
Okay, what's he got?
Accordion neck, which you didn't like. Parasitic algae forcing agriculture. I'm not sure the logistics of that. That sounds
Parasitic algae force. How does it force agriculture? I don't.
I'm not. I'll have him answer it.
Parasitic algae does sound like a cool idea, though.
His prime suggestion: bioluminescent tongue.
Bioluminescent tongue. Yeah. That's the first time I've heard about the bioluminescent tongue, but that sounds like a cool idea.
What if they have strong
Especially
power and it's how they hunt, hiding food? Interesting.
I mean, it doesn't really have a tongue per se, but it has this jaw that juts out of its quote-unquote mouth, and this thing could be bioluminescent, and they could use that to communicate.
Dee Dee said she will tell her mom.
Thank you.
They hate slackers. They have an anti-slacker religion.
Anti-slacker religion.
Make them anarcho-nihilists, pretty please.
Everybody needs to be. This is a hustler-only society.
Yeah. Maybe now we can give it skin patterns. Well, if it's going to be bioluminescent all across its body.
No, it's. I think
it's just going to be on the tongue.
I think it's just going to be on the tongue. Yeah, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try getting more of my creatures' skin patterns.
Yeah.
Because I did that with the last one. I did that with the Copal, especially in the last one, the weird slug guys.
Yeah.
And those guys have since become one of my favorite, like, designed aliens in the series. I can't believe I almost forgot this. Okay.
Will it have subspecies? Oh, interestingly, if they're so wide-ranging, you could have subspecies, like a polar subspecies and a tropical subspecies, and one that lives on the water.
I was thinking
in forests, and they could all be sylphant together.
There will be subspecies, kind of like the freaking, what are they called? The avians and that one thing you were telling me about.
Yeah, the avians and Runaway to the Stars.
And Runaway to the Stars kind of have subspecies that kind of way.
Yeah.
Go
read Runaway to the Stars, guys.
Dude, I can't believe I almost forgot that, because this is something that we're gonna have to factor into the creation.
Okay.
Man, that was close too. I was almost ready to wrap it up.
Uh-oh.
This thing, just so y'all know, is not naturally sapient.
Oh.
This thing, so you guys remember the Gabaras in the last video?
Yes.
And you guys remember how the Gabaras did a bunch of uplifting projects?
Yes.
And you guys remember how part of the uplifting project was mechanical uplifts, where they basically just put like an external computer and like just grafted it onto an animal, and that uplifted its brain?
Mm-hmm.
That's what these guys are.
Oh my goodness. I like that a lot.
They got a computer in their head. And so basically, these guys are not sapient naturally. I can't. This was actually the whole point of this video, and I almost completely forgot about it.
Oh, wow. You're kind of an idiot.
I'm kind of stupid. So these guys are not naturally sapient, and when they're born, they're just born as like a regular animal. And they have to put, like the others, have to put a mechanical computer onto just a regular wild animal, and then that turns it into a person.
Plot twist.
Yo.
No way. Whoa. They like this idea.
So, yeah, okay. And since when they start off, and like this is going to take place like right after the Gabara, like the great collapse of the Gabaran Empire. And like that happened when these guys are like still Stone Age level, right?
How did they get first computers? It was given to them by the Gabaras.
Yeah, the Gabaras.
The aliens from the last stream.
Mm-hmm. Gave them, computers. They like implanted computers into these little alien
Their
dudes.
society is built around the production of these chips. Maybe make a xenobot algae computer that grows naturally, but it's from an artificial origin. So the Gabar has made something so it could be continually producing more brains.
I think a big part of the story is going to be about how, at least for the first like several periods of their history, they cannot reproduce these computers. They are technologically incapable of doing it. So if a person dies, like if the actual body dies, it's really no big deal. But if a computer is destroyed, that is the death of a person. Is the death of a person. It's the death of like 5 people because like I think these computers have enough storage on them to remember like 5 generations worth of lives.
Oh wow.
So when you put a computer into your head, you have your memories and your dad's memories and your granddad's and your so on and so forth. So when a computer is destroyed, that's like if somebody else destroys a computer, then that's like beyond murder. But if they kill a person, like if they kill like the actual animal, then it's kind of like whatever.
Yeah. The uplifters would be their gods until a war breaks out between the creator and the disciple.
The Gabaras are already gone. They're not part of the story anymore. Well, they're not part of this story at least. The Gabaras from the last video were a group that uplifted a bunch of species, made a big like intergalactic society, and then another group of aliens basically wiped all of them out. Not all of them, but basically wiped all of them out. And this story that we're about to tell with these little flying dudes takes place after the Gabaras were basically wiped out. So the Gabaras aren't going to interact directly with these guys at any point.
Gotcha. So there's a wild feral population, a domestic civilized population.
Mm-hmm.
They go out and just catch a wild dude and force him to be a man.
I think it probably depends on the culture. Some of them probably do that. Some others probably just have a kid, and then they just put a computer on the kid when they're getting old.
Mm-hmm. If one of these guys commit a serious crime, their machine brain is taken out as a punishment. Imagine you're like 5 years old, you just became sapient, and now your grandma's speaking brain riddles to you. Borbo, eat your microchips and meat, honey. You needed to grow big and strong.
So I'm gonna draw. I don't think it's gonna be that hard.
They can be very good at math because their brain is a computer.
Yeah, they're probably gonna be great at math. So the computer, it's not like they're an artificial intelligence though. They are artificially intelligent, but it's not like they're an AI.
Yeah, the computer isn't like another AI. Isn't like an AI grafted onto the body of a deer.
Yeah,
it's like making a deer smarter, but all the thought comes from the animal's brain.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah. All everything that they're thinking is just extensions upon what they would have been thinking as an animal.
Do they have a return to monkey philosophy? I'm sure some of them do.
Probably. Yeah. I'm sure some of them do.
Be smart proceeds to wrestle a random wild animal and jab a computer into its head. Why did the Gabaras choose to uplift them?
Just to see what would happen. This I talked about this on the last video. The Gabaras uplifting projects were really just like they didn't really have any specific purpose for uplifting anything specific. They just kind of thought that if they uplifted a bunch of different kinds of creatures, they would get a bunch of different kinds of ideas, which would lead to better technology, which worked for them. So they would like uplift a spider, not because like they wanted to uplift a spider in particular, but they were like, oh, I wonder what would happen if a spider could do calculus.
They just gave a spider calculus abilities.
Yes, exactly.
All right.
So
imagine raising your own non-sapient kid. It would be like keeping a dog, but knowing that one day that dog is going to like be your grandson.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be weird. So they would still have a creation myth of the Gabaras, though, and maybe they would see it as a battle of the gods or something like that. Maybe. I imagine different populations have different stories, versions of the story.
Yeah, and like I said, so I think it would probably just look like this or something.
I feel they would eventually abandon their bodies and become fully mechanical. I don't think so, because the body is where all the the computer isn't just a mind and it's using the body to drive around. The body, the brain, the physical, mental bio-brain inside this animal's head is the thing that's having the thoughts. Its ability to think is
Yeah.
its ability to have higher order thoughts is aided by the computer, but if the computer was taken off, the computer isn't thinking anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like so this thing here has a personality, but that personality is not the computer's personality. It is the personality of the creature it uplifted, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and like I said before with the memory thing, you might have the memories of like your dad and your granddad, but you don't have their personality, and you don't have like their thoughts or opinions. You have your own, but you just have the memories, the actual direct memories of them, right?
Gotcha.
So if a computer isn't plugged into anything, it's completely inactive.
Yeah. It's just what's the thing called? A hard drive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Why is the Gabar becoming so prominent? Not that it's bad, just curious.
It's only going to be it's here for this. I mean, the Gabaras are basically like the first big superpower of the galaxy.
Gotcha.
Like they were, if you were a
So the computer just elevates the true self, kind of.
yeah,
It frees them from their feral state.
yeah, it basically.
That's the way they can see it.
Well, how did you say that? It elevates their true self.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a pretty good way of saying it. It just elevates their true self. Exactly.
What a fun day! They're just like, screw having thoughts, and they just didn't anymore.
They just took. I'm sure there would be a lot of people that would just take the computer out.
Yeah. Cree explained bipolar magnetic particle reversal matrix theory.
No. I refuse.
Would these guys get along with Cuddleman? Probably, because they're both uplifted.
Yeah, they're both
Or
uplifted.
they would hate each other because they're uplifted differently, depending on which two Cuddleman and Flying Boy you were talking to.
Yeah, these guys are called pucks, by the way.
Puck, yeah.
At least until we get the actual name for the video. But that's going to be...
Children's Time is a very cool Spidey spec bio and coexistence dilemma. So cool. Progression of their culture.
That's the one where the lady tried to uplift monkeys and instead uplifted spiders, right?
I think so.
So this is the design. This thing at the front is the computer. And then this is the eye, this is the tail and also mouth, and then this is the wing and the front and the back leg, which is also its hand.
If depressed, just remove brain.
Oh, do we think depressed just remove brain? Do these guys have a fruit gut and this is like their butthole over here? Because I kind of don't like that.
I don't like that either.
I kind of
they have a one-way gut.
A one-way gut, so they
Yeah.
just vomit everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that a lot more. Not for them, of course.
I feel like removing the computer would kill them due to not being able to comprehend their memories. Probably not. I feel like if you were like some animal and you couldn't comprehend the memory of the fact that you once did calculus, you just wouldn't think about doing calculus anymore.
Yeah, probably not. You'd probably just like come back. It would probably be really disorienting for the animal, but I don't think it would kill them.
Yeah. It bamboozle them for a little bit, then they get over it.
I mean,
But they get hungry and they say, "Oh, I'm going to think about this now," and they go off and go eat something.
Yeah.
They have a cloaca, kind of. Yeah. A cloaca's a through gut still, but a cloaca is an omni-hole minus the mouth.
Mm-hmm.
This is a cloaca plus a mouth.
This
so it's
is
even worse.
Oh, and it's also there was that guy earlier that was saying they should just have one hole. They kind of do now.
They kind of do, yeah.
I mean, they don't see out of it, but I don't know how you would see out of it.
Cloaca. So this is what my mom meant when she would sell my brain on eBay. That probably is an actual threat for these guys.
Sell your brain.
They would just have a really bad headache and then get hungry and go off and eat something.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
they also digest in the stomach, yes. I tried getting a spider calculus. The poor boy got crushed by the pressure. Or the book, I'm not sure.
Or the fuck.
One hole achieved.
We did it, guys. We did it, boys. One hole.
I feel like they might have wars over computers. Maybe, but I imagine if you stole some of their tribe's computers and you plugged it in, they would remember being a member of the other tribe and defect.
Maybe they could, but they'd also, if you raised that animal to be loyal
That's true.
to that tribe, then you would plug it in and it would just remember all of its enemies' weaknesses.
It's true. You're right.
Yeah, wars with these guys would actually probably be really interesting because stuff like that would happen.
What if you put the Sapientizer 2000 on something that's already sapient?
I don't know. So, I mean, obviously, And I was thinking about this a little bit. So these computers, the way that they're built, and so the animal was genetically modified by the Gabaras.
Mm-hmm.
Not to be sapient, but to basically have, like... What are those things that you plug a phone into? Like an aux cord?
Yeah.
You plug it into?
That's for audio transfer, but yeah.
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 They have, like, basically biological aux ports that accept the computer.
Mm-hmm.
So they can only plug this computer into other animals with those.
Yeah, so the Gabaras, the only genetic manipulation they did was they gave them the port.
Yeah, they gave them the port.
And then they released them all out into the wild.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So that's why they aren't able to, like, put the computers onto just any other wild animal. They have to put it on something that's related to them. And there's probably some, like, subspecies of this thing that look exactly the same as they do, but they don't have the ports anymore. They just happen to unevolve them.
Yeah.
So these guys probably see them as, like, a crazy feral species.
Yeah. There could be a religion where a dud, I assume he means one that doesn't have a brain in it, manages to evolve sapience without the computer and then convert to the masses. I don't think that would...
I think this species would more see... So you guys know, so there's this game called Marathon, right? And there's this alien called the Spit, I think. I think it's called the Spit. It has like an apostrophe instead of a vowel. It's weird. But it's, and it is also kind of like this, where it's mechanically uplifted. It's like an animal. It's more like a cyborg than this thing is, but you get the idea. And but their society believes, even though it doesn't make any sense, they believe that the mechanical things are natural.
Okay.
They just believe that they have those for the same reason that they have arms. And when they find other sapient species that are just biologically sapient, they kind of have an existential crisis, because that means that something made them sapient rather than them just becoming sapient through
finding
regular means.
Yeah.
And I think that that's more how these guys would see sapiens. They don't see biological sapience as something that could happen naturally.
Gotcha. Sorry, I couldn't come to Grandma's funeral. I had to update to Windows 294.
I don't know why that was funny.
When you want to be smart, but your brain is USB and not USB-C. Different races could have physically different ports.
Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe they think natural sapiens are inferior.
That could also make sense.
Yeah. When their computer reboots, they pass out.
Okay, so but that's the design though. I think they're cool. I like this design a lot. And they're still fat.
I know.
Which is obviously the most important detail.
I'm a fan of the fat little flying boy.
Mm-hmm.
So could they have like computer virus pandemics?
Yeah, probably so.
Different races run on different operating systems. Little punishment for these guys. Can you please have another mouth to the tongue? There's already a lot of mouths going on in that mouth, man.
I'm so confused at what I just did.
What if another completely unrelated species on their planet evolves sapience independently? Can they run a Minecraft server with their brain? Yes.
Yeah, probably so.
I hope so.
It basically just looks like this, dude.
They could divide themselves into traditionalists with their computers and others who genetically modify themselves as being naturally sapient. Well, not naturally sapient, biologically sapient. You could have people who, you could have a whole bunch of different, like, traditionalists. You could have anarcho-primitivists who just want to return to monkey, unironically. You could have people who are traditionalists and just stick to the computers the way they've always have been. You could have people trying to figure out how to make the computers different or better at certain things, and have people who are like big old fans of math. They can make their computer the mathiest computer around. And you could have guys doing all that different stuff. And then you could have guys who want to be biosapient.
Yeah, that all makes sense to me. Okay, so that's
perhaps in their tribes there's a massive supercomputer in the center that they all plug their helmet into to gain memories from other people and go look for memories of the past. I feel like if they plug their helmet out. If like I took my brain off, I wouldn't be able to put it back in.
Yeah.
So I don't think people casually take the brain out because then I'd be a wild animal. And when some dude walked up to me with a helmet with a bunch of spikes on the inside, I would run away.
Yeah, right?
So
but I think they do have sort of like priestly helmets that are from generations ago that like are basically only used for ceremonial purposes, so people can for a time remember like 5,000 years ago, and then they take it out and then they're like, oh, that was cool.
okay, but I think that's just they plug that into their brain, their computer, instead of unplugging their computer and plugging that in.
Yeah, well, I mean,
their computer has another port, and you plug in the priest port into that.
Something like
so you
that.
don't have to take your brain off to take memories.
Well, I mean, I think it only happens ceremonially. So, like, they probably, like, when they're still a person, they, like, get tied down or something.
Oh, gotcha.
And then they unplug it, and then they plug it, and then the oracle dude or, like, the priestly guy that has the helmet plugged into him says what he sees, and then they unplug it. And they're like, yeah, that was cool.
Multiplayer dreams. Can they run Doom on it?
Can they run Doom on
Can they mine Bitcoin? Can they open the task manager? Primitives, traditionalists, internal computer people, biologicals. Yeah, factions. I like it. I like solar flare happening when they're close to industrial revolution, or it resets them to square one and they have to follow the second generation story, trying to figure out what happened. Be able to learn from the past. History will be well documented. Mathletes is a blood sport.
Mathletes is a blood sport?
Hey, Cree, did you know that when you press Alt F4, you unlock a special brush with rainbow colors?
Wait, really?
Wow.
That's the sound of everything closing.
Oh, jeez.
Because of Alt F4.
Oh, what is Alt F4?
It's the thing that closes everything.
Oh, gotcha. Hold on, I zoned out. So are they neutrally sophant?
No, they are competitively sophant. No, they're not naturally sophant. They are made sophant by a computer that is plugged into them.
What if the brain overheats from thinking too much?
It won't. It's a really good computer.
What if the plug breaks?
Then it's tough. Yeah, so I mean, the computers, the Gabaras made like hundreds of thousands of these computers. But the computers break all the time. So, like, they have, until they reach, like, an industrial revolution where they can make new computers, they have a limited population that can only ever get lower.
Is Alt F4 suicide? IT guys are just therapists.
Just therapists.
Can they make it to Pog
Pog.
Yes. Do they find it ethical to use normal computers for normal purposes?
Yeah.
Okay. Would their equivalent of old age be overheating, or any of the devastating damage to the computer? And when it's closed, would they save the memories? Like when they die and they close down the computer, it does.
Memories get
and then they just put it in a vault until they can put it on somebody else. I assume.
Yeah, when a person dies, they just take the computer out and put it somewhere safe.
Would code decay be their version of dementia? I imagine code decay doesn't really happen.
No, yeah, I mean
because the thoughts aren't coming from the computer.
Yeah,
yeah. I imagine their version of dementia would be just their regular dementia.
Well, I mean, code decay. I mean, if like the language processor in the computer is broken down, then they wouldn't be able to process language as well. They'd only be able to do it as well as the regular wild animal can, which presumably isn't as well as a person.
Imagine your friend sending you a link to a cool website called youareanidiot.com, and you open it up and it just bricks your brain. Can they transmit information directly between the computers like an internet?
No. They don't have an internet.
Would they be extremely altruistic? I feel like probably.
So these guys...
Can they get ads in their brain? Can they play TF2 in their brain?
I think these guys are going to be kind of... So, like, the new Gabar... Like, the Gabaras, and from the last video, were the, like, biggest, baddest, most powerful species, right? Mm-hmm. But they were really good and kind and empathetic. These guys... And then the Yolks were the ones that took control after that, and they were really, like, evil and apathetic.
Gotcha.
These guys are going to be kind of in the middle.
Like like these guys taking over, I think is going to be basically the same as like humans taking over.
Mm-hmm.
Like on average, humans are probably like only okay.
Okay.
Right?
Can they play TF2 in their brains? Can they Twitch stream their thoughts?
No.
Can you pirate memories?
Can you pirate memories?
How would you get dust out of the machine? You take your brain off and blow in it, and then plug it back in.
Plug it back in.
Imagine your brain's hardware no longer being supported. Can they play Doom with their brain? So their civilization lasts for 50 years after Gabaras because all the computers break in a war. Oh no.
That'd be really sad.
Can you sell thoughts?
Can you sell thoughts?
In the industrial times, could there maybe be a brief dystopian time with ads in your brain and viruses everywhere? I like it.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah. Neuralink.
This is the future that Elon Musk wants.
Yeah. Code decay was more like rabies.
Ooh. That might be cool somehow. Okay, so this is the design. It sounds like everybody's liking it. It sounds like everybody thinks it's cool.
Yeah. Imagine going home after school and you're about to plug your brain in to play with the boys and your mom just confiscates your brain.
No, no.
Would their equivalent of essential oils be like those old console fixing hacks, like putting Vaseline on a scratched disc?
Wait, that doesn't work.
They value life, but they also value extreme control. Maybe. They don't the brains, so they don't plug the mind in to control a body. The bio brain is what's in control.
Mm-hmm.
It's just given room to expand its thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This isn't like putting a brain on an animal. This is like giving a brain a update.
Yeah, I mean it's just like uplifting. If you uplifted like a dolphin, you're not giving a dolphin a pre-made brain. You're making the dolphin's already existing brain smarter.
Yeah. It's
literally just that. But they're using a computer to do it.
What do they think about robots?
They probably are pro-robot. I mean, like, whether they're pro or anti-robot, it's not because they have a mechanical part. I don't think they see robots as like part person because they are part machine. If that makes sense. Okay, so I'm gonna start working on like the actual final.
Could they eventually one day, with the brain implant, have a port into the brain implant? They could plug in like you know how your mouse is disconnected, like it's
like a Bluetooth. Yeah,
they could Bluetooth to a robot and send that robot and think thoughts for it and send it into dangerous situations.
Probably so. Yeah. I mean, I think them like once they get into like a technology age, like once they get into basically our version of like the modern age, like where we are right now, once they reach that point, I think they'll just go buck nutty.
Yeah.
Like they'll reach like 80s level technology and then like 2 years later they'll be
living in 23.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So wait, we forgot to let them evolve Britain.
No!
Do the chemicals in the water make them gay? Yes.
It depends on the water, but yeah, in general, it's safer to say it does than it doesn't.
Do their brains have water cooling? Yes. No. Yes.
Just imagine the best computer possible. That's what these guys have.
And then make it better, and it's plugged into an animal's brain.
Because these computers, unless something breaks it, it could last like forever, right? Like it's not going to wear down in any reasonable timeline. It's not going to wear down on its own.
Yeah. Do they have pseudoscience? Like press A every time the Pokeball spins?
Probably so, yeah. Okay. But for real this time, I'm going to start working on the actual like finished render of these guys. If you guys want to be part of world building, how long will this stream be? About 5 more seconds. Okay, so if you guys want to be part of the actual world building of this video, then if you go to the Discord, there's a link in the description. Hopefully it's still working. Gosh, I can't do it again. But if you go to the Discord server and you go to the world building lore channel, then you'll be able to help us. You'll be able to help me and everybody else with the lore for this video.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to help after the stream is ending, and if you want constant, and if you want like regular updates on what the current lore is and what the current designs are, then that's the best place to get it.
Understood.
And
Understood here, guys.
And for everybody that's at the Discord, these guys' name, their temporary name until the video is released, they're called Pucks.
Okay. Oh, the link's not working.
Puck. Okay, it's not working.
So once we get the link working, I want to see poggers in the chat.
Beans.
Just so that we know it's working. But don't pog until the link works, okay?
Copy. Oh my gosh.
Pucks in the chat.
It goes so fast, dude.
It does. I know. I'm struggling with it.
Save it. Okay.
The link's been changed. Everybody go check, and then poggers if it works.
Someone asked lighter fly. They fly. They fly.
Give me pogs if it works, and give me nogs if it doesn't work, okay?
And they're able to fly because their atmosphere is denser on their planet than it is on Earth.
Yes. I'm not seeing any pogs. I'm not seeing any nogs. I'm not seeing anything.
Not seeing anything. I think they have to leave the stream and then come back in order for it to...
Pogs.
Pogs.
Okay.
We got a pogs from
Is that
me.
a pog we want? Is that you pogging correctly, or are you pogging because I said the word pog?
No, we're starting to get pogs.
We're getting pogs. Okay, good.
Okay. Yep. All right. Cool. So anybody that wants to be part of the design, go to the Discord, go to the world building channel, and then we'll get started, dude.
Okay, now I want pogs for everybody who's going to go in and help world build, okay?
Yo, we got Updog. Updog in the Discord. Okay. I guess that's it.
All right.
See you guys later. Hope to see you guys at the finished video. Bye.
Toodaloo.
End the stream.